this game is happening. I said on NBA radio earlier this morning that I guess earlier Sunday morning that the Mavs are in a season on the line game today. And you're just like, oh, they're playing Charlotte. What's the big deal? Well, they lost to Charlotte recently. They have been atrocious. To steal some patois from the internet, the vibes are terrible in Dallas.
What is patois?
Look it up.
I like to put the podcast on a screeching halt to get a glossary.
You don't have a thesaurus or a dictionary?
How do you even spell patois?
Yes, I already knew you didn't know that one.
P-A-T what?
The show is off the rails.
So I thought it was
I like
patois.
that Jay was like, we'll keep it tight today, man. Like 30 minutes. And now like already Jay's what's patois?
I thought it was patois, P-A-T-O-I-R. And I swear to God, I Googled it and it pulls up Urban Dictionary, a stupid Frenchman who is a Boy Scout and has sex with a moose.
What?
So how do you spell patois?
P-A-T-O-I-S. Dave, leave all of this.
O-I-S. Okay.
Yeah. Now, what's the definition that comes up?
The dialect of the common people of a region, differing in various respects from the standard language of the rest of the country. Patois.
So, like I said, the vibes are terrible.
I don't know what's worse, there or here on the podcast.
Yeah, it's a great question. It's a great question that we'll have to dissect in another podcast. I'll start with Mo as Jake catches up. Mo, is Dallas in trouble? Like Dallas going into Sunday's game outside looking in at the play-in tournament. That's how far they've fallen. Now they could win 2 games in a row and like be in the 6th seed, I think, right? Like that's just where the standings are. But man, like there are reports that Luka's not happy. J Kidd is pissed. Like this is not looking good.
It's not reports that Luka isn't happy. Luka literally said, "I'm not happy."
No, like he said it, but like there are reports more like deeper than that. Yeah,
he was unhappy.
But he was like, "Remember when I used to smile, guys? Remember?" Like I don't do that.
You're right. Yeah,
hard to smile when you're constantly bitching at the refs.
That's true.
I think it's a disaster.
But he used to smile while bitching. He actually,
that's true.
Did.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Jay. The disaster has started since they made the trade. Like, let's just be honest. They gave away defensive depth. They brought in Kyrie. It's just the two of them. Those guys have also not been on the court a lot. Some games Luka's out, some games Kyrie's out. It's becoming an issue for them.
I think they're 3-7 when they play together too. But when they're on the court together, well, I should check the numbers. But I think the results were good. It's just you split them up and it's bad. Yeah.
Yeah, but they just weren't simply winning games, and it's playing out in a absolute disaster. The home crowd's booing Kyrie. You know, you're having all sorts of issues. This thing's a dumpster fire, and I just wonder if they kind of have buyer's remorse. I know they felt like they had to make a swing at that trade deadline, and they made a big swing. It was just a hell of a risk, and I think now they're wondering if it's like maybe we should have just kind of stayed solid and figure it out in the offseason.
They didn't just lose to the Hornets. They lost to the Hornets with like nobody available. Like they lost to the Hornets.
By the way,
with
they're losing
half
to the
their
Hornets
roster.
now.
They lost to the Hornets with Svi Mihalik in the starting lineup.
They're still losing.
They lost.
It is in the first quarter right now. It is 20-10.
Svi can shoot. I was sure Svi was going to be a player when he was younger.
Yeah, he's white. Yeah. Did it?
Oh God. Oh God.
Oh no. Oh, sorry.
Svi can shoot.
Is that out loud?
Svi can shoot.
Was that out loud?
Svi can shoot.
I take it back.
I thought James Bouknight was going to be good too, but he can't even get minutes when they're this shorthanded.
Yeah, he's bad, man. But no, we're not talking about the Hornets. We're talking about the Mavs. Jay, do you think there's a chance of them salvage? Like, if they get into the play-in tournament, which I can't even believe I'm asking at this point. Like, if they get into the play-in tournament, but if they get into the play-in tournament, can they really be dangerous, or is this just like the clock's ticking and this is done?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think they can be super dangerous. Luka would have a chance against the Kings because I don't think they could possibly stop him. He would score or create a good bucket on every time down. But like at this point, their defensive integrity is zero. They have very few lineups that they trust. Like Luka is clearly not having a good time out there and admitting to that, acknowledging it. And I don't think it's all to blame on Kyrie, but he's not the guy you bring in to like help make people happy around him.
You mean he's not a stabilizing force? I totally thought he was a stabilizing force when you brought him in.
And so like there's just a lot going on in Dallas. None of it is good. I think they're realizing now probably that they're still not even close to good enough with Kyrie on the roster, which is probably something that most of us anticipated as soon as they traded for him and gave up what they did to get him. This is a team that never had good defenders in the first place, gave up really one of the only good defenders they had in Dorian Finney-Smith to get Kyrie. And so when you downgrade a defense that was never good in the first place this season, you wipe away everything that made you great last year. Last year, they were great because they had a really good freaking defense and they had Luka and they had Jalen Brunson as their second guy.
Mm-hmm.
And losing Jalen Brunson started this because had they just signed him to an extension when they could have, like that would have wiped away a lot of these issues. They would have been able to hold on to their defense. They wouldn't have had to go after Christian Wood, who's put them in a dilemma, who's never gained Jason Kidd's trust.
Nor should he. He's not good. He's not a good team player.
Yeah, and so they're a long way away, even with Kyrie, from being good. And they're a month away from maybe having Kyrie play his last game with the organization before he leaves somewhere else.
I mean,
like, he cannot be sitting there like, man, this is a great situation for me. This is awesome. This is somewhere I really want to stay.
Right.
Like Luka's miserable. The team is losing. And he's a guy who has been in some great situations, been like, I need to get out of here. And now he's in Dallas where things are burning down.
Maybe he likes the chaos. Maybe that's, I mean,
but he's like the Joker, man. He likes to burn the place down and then laugh as he leaves.
Yeah.
Like that's what he does.
But I mean, the crazy thing though, like I actually think their chances of retaining Kyrie are super high because they can give him a 4-year max, right? Like I think if Kyrie's going to leave, I would put my money more on like Kyrie re-signing for the 4-year max because Dallas like, hey, we need to keep you. We can't have made this trade and then lose you, months later. And then like maybe halfway through next season, he's like, all right, I'd like a trade. Yeah, I could see that happening more than him just straight up walking, but that's also because of like the cap space situation around the league. And I might be wrong on that, but that's just my assumption.
There's a lot of hope on maybe there's a sign and trade out there. I don't know who's going to be really willing to go after Kyrie again after all of this. Like at a certain point, you got to keep looking at his track record. The way Jay said it, it's like he comes in and just burns places down. And I think that's one of the issues with them.
I don't know that this is his fault. Though.
This isn't his fault. I'm not putting this on him in that sense, but it's just he's not a stabilizing force just in general. And I think it was a miscalculation from the Mavs on making this trade in the first place. I think that's really the mistake that they made. And now they've put them up against it and trying to figure out what they're going to do going forward after this offseason. Because, all right, you bring Kyrie in, that's probably going to eat up all your cap space, whatever you have for this season.
Yeah, that flexibility is gone.
You need to start adding defenders around this team. And, the market for Christian Wood isn't going to be all that high.
You don't have picks to do it with, like, yeah.
You've put yourself in such a difficult position in terms of building the team going forward. Like, this is a dangerous game that they're playing right now. And it kind of sucks because it's fun to have Luka out there.
Could it be like, look, the record is not good with them. They've played going into today's game because our recording will be done before that game is going into today's game, 10 games together, 3-7 in those games. Right. But in the 260 minutes they've played on the court together, they are a plus 5.6 per 100 possessions. They're scoring at 119.9 points per 100 possessions, which is insane in terms of production. Like, I wonder if you're Dallas, can you legitimately talk yourself into and not look foolish of like, look, if these guys are together, it's really good, and we just have to find role players to put around them.
But that's the other part of bringing in Kyrie is that he's not always available.
Wait, he's not?
This is not a guy who plays 82 games or close
Yeah.
to it. Even before he had the vaccine stuff,
Oh, he's always
everything
hurt,
that went
yeah.
on Brooklyn. He's always been hurt. The Celtics, when they brought him in, they knew he was going to miss a chunk of every season, and that was before, again, like he had season-ending surgery, and so that he's had a long injury history. It's 30-12 Charlotte. My goodness,
already in the first. And just so you guys know, Kyrie
ludicrous.
and Luka are
They're
playing in this game.
they're
I had to
playing.
go look. I was like,
not
are they
well.
sitting out?
Not
like
well.
this is part of the problem too. And this isn't
It's going to also sound
against
super
the
funny
refs.
if they come back and destroy the Hornets the rest of this game.
No,
yeah.
you know what? I don't care. You should never be down 30-12 against the Hornets, who don't
Who's
even have all of their guys.
playing for the Hornets in this game?
You know, like this is the point. You guys already won.
I will say Kai Jones is no joke.
Kai Jones, I like.
Yeah,
I like
okay.
Kai Jones. Yeah.
So that's a
You would
30-12
like Kai
difference.
Jones.
Oh, he's a leaper, man. He's a
He
leaper
is a
with
leaper.
no real purpose.
That man can fly.
Oh, he can fly
That man
big
can
time.
fly.
I mean, the
It's
Mavs
cool
are
in the
cooked.
Hornets jersey too.
The Mavs
Their
are
lineup
cooked.
right now is Steve Mihalik, Bryce McGowan, JT Thor,
I like
Teo
Bryce McGowan's
Maladon,
too.
and Kai Jones.
Oh, I don't
like
like
what a lineup. What a lineup.
That's a bad. That's
What
a bad
a
lineup.
lineup.